Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the 178th edition of Cinema Effect. I'm Zach, and I'm joined by PWSA's number one fanboy, Jaden.
Howdy.
Howdy. And making his return to the show, we can see him now. It's John Cena, JC, aka Fitzy, aka Liam.
Hello, back in the flesh, yes.
Welcome back. I don't know if you took note of this, but I was saving this for the intro of the show. Liam, what was your final verdict on Perth? Please.
Oh, right. Well, I had a good time, but like you wouldn't describe it as like exciting, right? Like there's not like Jane's right in the sense that there's not like that much to do.
Paris.
But it's I went to a few cool places. People were very nice there, so
okay.
It was a chill.
Yeah, all the 60-year-old people that you met, because that's the average age of the place.
It's actually no, that's whack. That's whack. Come on. That's unacceptable. You've gone too far. Okay, all right. Did you up any of the places I recommended?
Well, we went to Hillary's Bay for the ferry to get to Roanoke, and then I went by some of the beaches that you mentioned, like Cottesloe. When I went to Fremantle, I saw that, and then Scarborough. I think we went past as well.
Okay, all right.
So I saw most of the places you recommended. I think. Yeah.
So you saw him like in the car window?
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Saw him on the bus.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very good. I'll take it. It's fine.
I'm just saying, this is not the answer we discussed during the week, Liam. This is not the answer we discussed.
Oh, right. Yeah. Perth makes I have a newfound appreciation of Melbourne and Torquay, etc.
Wait, what the hell do you mean by that?
No, I'm joking. Sorry.
Okay. All right. We might have to delve into this more after the show, apparently. Okay. Let's get on topic here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Cinema Effect, the podcast where we review and talk about a different movie every single Monday. And this week, it all comes to an end until next month. Because we're doing The Hunger Games, Mockingjay, Part 2, which opened in the US on November 18th, 2015. It was directed by Francis Lawrence once again. It is a sci-fi action film, and the synopsis says, Katniss and a team of rebels from District 13 prepare for the final battle that will decide the fate of Panem. Indeed. Fitzy, what the hell did you think of the conclusion to the Hunger Games saga? The epic conclusion, did it live up to the hype? And also, you've seen this before, so what do you think this time?
I have seen it before, but I remembered very little about this movie. I saw this in the theaters along with the previous two films. And all I remember was two specific. I remember a specific shot of the oil scene, and I remember the execution scene. But I really there was so much in this film that was new to me again, and it was a lot meatier than I kind of expected. Especially it being a part two and being half the book. I thought the kind of the obstacles that they go through when they go through the city was the main thing. It was kind of, there wasn't much to it, I guess, but there was a lot that happened in this film, and the emotion really carried through from the other one. So I enjoyed it. Yes.
Okay, good. It sounded like it exceeded your expectations.
Yes.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I was happy with this. Coming in, I was I was a tad lower after part one. And also, I don't have any nostalgia for this one because I only saw it once in the theater as well. I think by that point I'd already read the book years ago, so I was just sort of a bit out of it at that point. I sort of saw it more out of obligation, because I of course I was going to go see it. But I only saw it once. Didn't really remember much about it at all. Since I even remembered maybe slightly less than you, because I didn't even remember the execution scene, which feels pretty important to remember. The only thing I remember going to this film really was that I knew they obviously stormed the Capitol, and I knew Prim died. Spoilers. So but I think that was really it. So I was also pleasantly surprised. This ended up probably sitting fairly close to the first movie for me, I would say. I don't think it does anything as interesting as the first one in terms of what we talked about in that review about the violence and how it handles some of the action and things like that. I think it can lack in those areas a little bit, but I think it makes up for that in other areas. Like, I think there's a quality story here. Like, I totally agree. Like, the story moves and progresses a lot more significantly than I remembered. There's a clear conflict at the center of the movie, which works. And I don't know. There's just like a handful of like really good scenes and performances in moments. I thought that stood out as well. So yeah, no, I was very happy with this movie. Jaden, what did you think? And how many times have you seen it?
This is my third time seeing it, I think.
Okay.
And I was like, I quite a lot of it has left my memory as well, but I think I've retained far more than you guys. Yeah, it's pretty pleased with it. I think after seeing this, that thing we discussed last time about could Mockingjay have been one movie, I'm probably convinced that it could have been if it was a 3-hour affair, and you just take away mostly from part one and only a little bit from this time and just slap it into 3 hours. I think you could do it, and I think it'd be pretty successful actually. I don't know, yeah, quite strong. It never really relents, and I like that it establishes pretty early on Katniss is thinking, where it's going, how the characters are playing out, and I think they all follow a thread really nicely.
Yeah, cool. I definitely agree. Yeah, good point about the runtime too, because I agree. After seeing this one now, that's something we talked about in part one, that we needed to obviously wait for this to get the conclusion. I think it should have been one movie, especially when you pause this at the end of this movie. I paused it, and like it was only 2 hours and 5 minutes before credits.
Yeah,
so it's like, and the last one I think was a bit under an hour. So sorry, a bit under 2 hours.
Yeah.
So, well, if it was only under an hour, then they really got us. And like we were talking about, there's a bunch in part one that was kind of repetitive. So yeah, I definitely think they could have jammed this into an epic, bigger movie, and I probably would have enjoyed it a little bit more. But nonetheless, though, just taking this part as it is, I definitely agree with you guys. Something that the realization that I came to that you guys shared with me in the last review was, of course, everything to do with the thematics of this conclusion with coin.
Yes,
our favorite.
Coin. I kept that phrase was in my head, Jaden. The whole
movie. It was in mine too, and I couldn't unsee this shit, man, because everything that Coin's up to in this movie, everything that's going on with District 13 and their strategy and their approach to the war and everything, it's like, it really is the heart of the movie, I think. I feel like, it was fun after the last review watching it and just like seeing it all like so clearly now. And there was a lot of stuff that they delved into here that was quite interesting and left us in an interesting place at the end as well. But I guess, like, to what extent did you disapprove of her this time, Jan? By the end of this, like, which side were you on? Were you like, I can't stand Coin, or I kind of get Coin? Because I feel like you can make an argument either way, potentially.
No, Coin is more of the same, It's kind of like it is, a criticism of the American, political system, because, they have this whole like massive divide between the liberals and what are they, Democrats and Republicans, but even like they are, two sides of the same coin, like more so than what Labor and Liberals down here are. Like, you vote left or right there, the only difference is that when you bomb Iraqi kids, you're just going to have a different message with it. So like, it works as a criticism of that system. And, I really think Coin's bad, and they moved to like a really radical new kind of choice by the end of it. And I think it's the right choice, and it shows it to be the right choice. I think it shows that it's largely beneficial. And I think as soon as she recommends another Hunger Games, I think is really the nail in the coffin of it's fucking horrible,
Oh yeah. Well, what's the new radical choice you got out of the end though, politically?
That chick from District 8 that led like the People's Army, and then Plutarch through his support behind her, and she became the People's Champion and the president.
Gotcha. Okay. So it's the fact that she was like, she's not a politician. She's like,
no, she's just your average Joe that fought her way up.
Gotcha. Okay,
became a voice of reason.
Yes, I think I wrote Paylor was her name.
Baylor, maybe.
I thought it was Paylor.
Something like that.
Watched
Hey,
this movie
no.
last night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, man. Paul. I was about to say Paylor. No, she's fine. Coin sucks. It's almost like, for me, it's like, and it's actually strong direction, I think, in this movie, and Julianne Moore really won me over with
Pale,
this.
it is.
Oh, good. Baylor's from Game of Thrones, Chad. It's for me like, it's almost how unaware she is that she's pretty much the same as Snow. I think she's totally unaware of it, and the fact that she speaks like a very regular, real world politician. She's just like so neutral that it just makes her so annoying. There's like nothing overtly anything about her, you know. There's nothing overtly evil, ambitious, whatever. She doesn't wear anything on her sleeve, but that just makes it like worse in my opinion. It like, in terms of like the performance and the direction of the character, like it's a good direction. I thought it was well done in that respect, because now I'm just like, I feel like I'm sitting there, at least like Snow, like straight up admitted he was down to kill kids. You know what I mean? Whereas Coin would be like, would like write a whole PR statement about how that's not true, but like she would still, but she's obviously just wants to throw another Hunger Games anyway. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's how I feel about Coin. But I feel like in her staleness, that's kind of where it comes out. I think that's kind of what makes it work as well. But Fitzy, how'd you feel about Coin? You can defend Coin if you like. I don't think you will, but go for it.
No, yeah, she's very good. It's you're right when you're right about the neutral stuff, because you don't. I mean, we talked about it in the last movie, but you can't. I don't think everyone can see her like slowly creeping up and like becoming a villain. Because she's not like overtly evil or anything, and the only that she does it. She has like evil actions in this film, but the only like manifestation of it is like she changes a bit like physically, like she has kind of like dark eyes and stuff by the end of the film. But no, she's a good character. Yes, I enjoy it.
Yes, absolutely. I don't know. There were so many, like, now that I was looking for the warning signs for her, there were like so many now, like right off the bat. What did when she's like, I wrote this down, like when Katniss went rogue on her, and she's like, whatever Katniss is doing, it was our plan all along. You know, it's just like she's playing for us. And it's just like, all right, Coin. Like that was like the most clear sign, I think, at least from memory, that I'd gotten so far, of like, you're really just like going out of your way to manipulate the narrative here. Whatever's going to work. So yeah, that was definitely not a good thing. And then I don't know, she's sort of just there in the background, being nice on the surface, being a little bit shady at times. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like her military tactics then start speaking for themselves. You know, before you even get to the scene in the dinner table, at the end where she asks about the Hunger Games, which is like a whole other thing. But even before that, District 13 as a military, as a force. Well, I guess it's like the whole rebellion at that point, right? I don't know if it's like, you could just say it's 13, but Coin leads them all technically, right? Like, I know, like, she made the decision to drop the bombs on the group at the end, and those bombs, I presume, were like, it wasn't just like District 13 is like a rogue part of the rebellion. Do you understand what I'm asking?
By that stage, it was like all the freedom fighters from all the districts and shit.
Yes. Okay. All right. So it really is just two sides of the. I won't do it again. Anyway. Okay. That makes sense. So yeah,
I'll do it multiple times just to cover you.
You can, Jane. It's your thing. I won't take it from you. But yeah, District 13 / rebellion going too far is obviously a strong thing in this theme in this movie. It comes in right at the start, and it's compelling because, and I think like the ultimate representation of that, of like the conflict with it, is probably Gale in the movie. And I think I like Gale the most in this movie of any of the movies, just because I feel like he feels really relevant to the core theme. He's like kind of in the middle of it, and he kind of ends up being the victim of it in a way too. And it's sort of, besides that, I feel like he's also just got the most to do. I feel like in the first one, he's in like 2 minutes of it. And then he sort of gets in more and more and more. And then here, I feel like he's finally like fulfilling his character's whole purpose, with what he represents to Katniss, and like the whole military aspect of taking it too far, of showing no mercy and all that kind of thing. And I understand it. And that's why he's important to it, because it's like the capital killed 12. He was there, destroyed it. They showed no mercy to him, as he says. So why should they show mercy to them? But it's like, it's the age-old idea of, if you know better than them, you know better than them if you behave this way. If you employ these tactics and do all this crazy shit where you just kill them at any cost. I think at the start, Gale says something to the effect of, I don't care, I'll kill the cleaners. Well, what is it like? Oh, the people who mop, like,
No,
are helping
he
the
was saying
capital.
that the civilians aren't just cleaning they're not just mopping the floor there. He was saying the civilians are actively supporting them.
Right, yeah.
His action.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, if they have to die, I can live with that. He's just like basically just says, oh yeah, I'll kill civilians that are helping the capital. It's like, damn, dude, So that's already kind of strong. I get it. It's rooted in understanding, but it's obviously wrong, I think, and that all obviously comes back to play at the end with him and what happens to Prim and stuff. So I don't know. I feel like that's sort of like if anything, I think that's like the core theme of the movie. I don't know if you guys disagree, but that's sort of why I took away from it most. And then that's sort of what interested me about where sort of Gale ended up.
Yeah, like the movie goes right into that conversation as well when they talk about when they focus on like the mountain kind of situation or whatever. Because like the first sign you can see from Coin that she's kind of dodgy is that she recommends like I don't know what district, I guess District 8 or maybe District 2 or like to they'd be like offered as like sacrifice or whatever so that they can like get the weapons. And then I think it's Paylor who's like, yeah, no, we're not gonna. These are like my people. What are you saying?
Yes.
And then, yeah, I think that scene like shows the whole like range of debate around this like topic. I guess like everyone has their own like chimes in on their own point in it, which that they've like kind of remain it for the rest of the movie. So yeah, that was strong. And then I just liked how they kind of the actual explosion where they bomb the mountain is like really quick and everyone's like cheers. It was just very, I don't know, very very weird, very like unnerving.
Yeah, that's a good point actually. Yeah, that was a good scene too. I wasn't expecting Gwendolyn Christie to be there, by the way. She never came back either.
Nah, I completely forgot about her too.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, you're right. You're totally right about that. It does set the groundwork for the rest of the movie. And I don't want to. I guess we're talking about it, so I don't mind jumping ahead a little bit. But just in terms of all these ideas, like, what did I didn't really know exactly how to feel about. I feel like it was simple, and I just like wasn't really getting it in terms of like what the final scene with Gale was actually about. In terms of obviously, like Katniss basically she's done with him at that point, sort of I assume half blames him for what happened to Prim and all that. But I don't know, like I feel bad for Gale in the moment too. I don't know if I was meant to or not, because when he says, he feels like he's let Katniss down by letting Prim die, and I think he sort of in that moment he's questioning like basically his whole motivation, like his whole stance that was established at the start that we're talking about. It's the whole thing sort of thrown on its head when he actually had someone he knew die as a result of it, and then like when he said he didn't know whether or not it was Coin's bomb or not, like I believed him. I would be confused too. I'd be
it was his design though.
Yeah, right. Like I think if you were to press him, I think he knows, but like he can't. I understand that would be hard to face, So I don't know. I feel like maybe I had more sympathy for him in the moment than I was meant to, or like what? How do you guys feel about that? Was it meant to be like a thing of Gale made a mistake and he sucks, and be gone with him or whatever? I feel like that's where Katniss is at, but I don't know if I agree.
I don't know. I didn't consider that it would be like his design or anything, but like I just thought she was mad at him because he placed so much trust in Coin, I guess. But no, I didn't really feel for Gale, to be honest.
No.
I didn't really.
He's a full military politician by that stage, Like his
Okay.
He has flipped to the other side of the coin.
Hey. I don't know. But I can sort of, from that scene onwards, though, I can kind of see him going on like this journey of like self-discovery, I guess, where like, I don't know, I feel like he has to after that. And I see it in his face too. Like he has to question everything he's done.
Had he been in that Victor's meeting, do you think he would have voted for another Hunger Games? The answer is yes. and I think that kind of sums up that
Yeah, he would. But I feel like he'd think about it more than he did, you know? I feel like it has the fact that Prim died and he failed Katniss in that way has affected him quite strongly, I feel. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like justice for Gale. I need some love out there for Gale a little bit, you know, some sympathy. Speaking of that scene, actually, so first of all, that was a really good scene, the whole thing. When she says we'll plan an election when the time is right.
Oh yeah,
that was funny. That was pretty good. You know,
everyone's too emotional right now.
Everyone's so emotional right now. Yeah, exactly.
So I will graciously accept the interim, presidency.
Yeah, exactly. But do you get the sense that like she's not self-aware of that at all? Like I genuinely don't think she's like actively trying to be manipulative in saying these things.
No, I think you underestimate the character.
Do I? Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of think that she just thinks it just makes sense to her and she's doing the right thing.
I think because of the neutral tone she's presented with, I think you, I think you.
I'm buying into it a bit.
Yeah. Whereas I think had you had like the context that the books give around 13, I think you'd see a bit more into like the manipulative things that they've been doing.
Okay, no, that's fair. That's fair enough. Anyway, so yeah, when she suggests they want to host their own Hunger Games, I was like, "What the fuck?" I had no idea. I've totally forgot about that. So, and then I was even more shocked when Katniss voted yes. Because at this point, I forgot like the whole plan thing.
Right, okay.
Yeah. I literally forgot that she killed Coin in this movie until when the scene started. When it started and they were like out in the parade or whatever, you know, when the outdoors starts. Like then I remember, I know what this scene is. But like until I got the visual of it, it didn't trigger anything in my memory of that was going to happen. So anyway, I was initially shocked that Katniss said yes. Does Haymitch just say yes because he says he's with her? Does he just say yes because he just trusts her?
Yeah.
He's sort of just like, I don't know what you're thinking here, but I'm just going to go with you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I guess so.
Okay. Because I feel like Haymitch would not have done that otherwise. Okay, but that makes sense now that I have the full picture, obviously. So yeah. Anyway, the scene where Coin gets shot though, that was a good scene. It was a good move on Katniss's part.
I like how no medics try to, help Coin. They just accept that she's dead or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it was a good shot. She died straight up right there. Yeah, absolutely. And then, sorry, go for it.
Oh no, you go.
Oh, and then I didn't know if we want to do Snow's death happens at the same time. We need to have a Snow appreciation session, of course, as we normally do. But his death was kind of messed up too. So in the book, correct me, Jan, if I'm wrong. In the book, it's like they say he choked on his own blood. Is that correct? That's what I thought.
He definitely starts with the coughing fit. I don't remember if like the mob, and he starts coughing up blood, but I don't remember if the mob rushes in and kills him as well. I can't recall.
Yeah. I always for some reason remember like he chokes on his own blood as being a thing.
Yeah.
But because the mob was like another factor involved, I didn't remember. So I just when the mob comes in this movie, I don't know if it was in the book or not, but I really liked it because I actually prefer the idea that the mob like rips him apart. Basically, I think that's kind of cool. Like it's messed up, obviously, but I think I just kind of like the way they all swarm him is like a more interesting visual in my opinion than if he would have just like that weren't to happen and he would just choke, you know.
Well, I think the way they framed it in the film was kind of awkward. In having like, I think when I read the books, I never visualized it as like being down the main parade straight. Maybe that's how it's described, but I think I chose to do it differently.
Yeah.
So I think had they staged it differently, I think that if like I think it could have been a more intimate scene and just the choking on the blood could have worked more effectively.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I like the massive kind of grandeur of it.
Okay,
but I guess that works to the themes of revolutions, bleed, breed, violence and all that shit.
Oh yeah, and it's like it goes back to your favorite saying, Jaden, because Coin is straight up doing a public execution. You know what I mean? Like no, like Paylor isn't going to do that. You know what I mean? No, like democracy is going to do that. Coin's like, oh yeah, let's put him in the square and publicly shoot him. It's like that's just like that's something he would do. Exactly, it's that shit.
It's almost like it's
good riddance. It's almost like it's two sides of something. Oh wow. Okay. All right. Anyway, let's talk about Snow for a little bit here. God bless Snow, dude. I can't wait for this prequel now. I'm like, give me more Snow. Give me. I haven't seen the trailer properly, but like I saw a little. I think it was like a thumbnail. I saw something where it was like it looked like the aesthetic of it was like 60s TVs and shit, and I was like, that looks cool as. So I don't know what they're doing, but I'm into what the little bits I've seen and the idea of it. But anyway, Snow is once again on the ball in this movie. You know, basically just rooting for him at this point. Outwardly, I'll definitely be rooting for him in the prequel. I don't even care if he like kills 3 kids or whatever. You know, he goes on.
Do you know what his role is in the prequel?
So it's fine. No, not a clue.
Okay. You don't want me to tell you?
No.
Oh, okay.
I presume he's in the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. Got no idea. Anyway, I just love seeing Donald again. There's a few little things that they do, you know, that I really like. A few little lines. Like when he realizes that Katniss... Well, first of all, it makes perfect sense. But I just appreciate that he's a smart villain in that he realizes Katniss can't be dead because, you know, when she's shot... Holy shit. Snow's coming for you. You know when Katniss is shot and the dumbass is like, oh, Katniss is dead. And he's like, well, she's obviously not dead because if she were, she would be used as a martyr already by the rebellion. It's like, good, smart villain stuff, you know? It's like, even I didn't think of that, to be honest. Like, because I fully expected when they cut there. And by the way, when Katniss is shot out of nowhere and they cut really fast to Snow's dinner, that was a great cut and a great scene at Snow's dinner too. That was all fantastic. But when they do that, I sort of was just expecting that, oh, here we go. Here's the scene where they all think she's dead and they all say she's dead. And then they find out later she's not dead, you know? And that kind of does happen again later, to be honest.
Yeah,
but at least in this particular occasion, Snow was under less pressure and was not dying of coughing at that point yet. So I presume he was a bit more on his ball and he was being a smart villain there. So that was good stuff for sure. And then another favourite scene of mine was when he when Quinn interrupted him on the live broadcast. So good.
It was
so
a savage. Pluck. That's a pluck. Yeah, I was going to bring that up. Yeah,
I'm glad. I'm glad.
Moment.
That was so good. That was so good. It was cool, even though it is quite sudden. Like when he's starting to get sick in the film, like first scene where like he's asleep at the desk, you know, and he's got the handkerchief there and shit. It's like, it was quite sudden. Like, I don't think the film really built to it at all, that he was like in any way sort of failing a little bit. Maybe that could have been planted a little bit earlier. But regardless though, like I still thought it was cool seeing Snow vulnerable. And like, it was interesting to see, like he was almost excited by the fact Katniss survived when the lady told him, I thought. That's sort of how I read it anyway. He was like, oh, what, she's alive? It was kind of weird how into it he was. But yeah, tons of great Snow stuff in the movie. Yeah, are you guys still all Team Snow, still Donald Sutherland all the way, or any other things that still?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think this is. I think in the previous ones you guys talked about like wanting more scenes of him. I think this is the first time, not the first time I felt it. Like I think this is like the most I've felt it, that I wanted just a bit more from him as well. Just a touch of screen presence, just rocking up a tad bit more. You know? Because I think that last chapter between him and Katniss is really great. I think just, you know, the meeting of the two forces type thing, and you know, it's always epic. And I just would have appreciated a bit more of him just being a bit sinister. I think it's always cool.
Yeah. And like I said a little bit with the vulnerability, like I actually would have liked it. Then if you take that further, I would have liked to have seen little glimpses or something, a scene of like him right at the end when it's all like in the mansion when it's all falling apart, you know, because you kind of don't get that.
I think cutting away to that point would be a bit detrimental. Taking it out of the story.
Yeah. I still would have eaten that up though.
I think it would have been cool if you mirrored Katniss's medical at the start with Snow's medical, maybe. And that's where you plant the seeds that is like, you know, really unhealthy.
Oh, like right at the start of the movie.
Yeah, and just like have like a bunch of match cuts of like, you know, them both sitting on the bed and like their doctors checking like the same shit. I reckon that could have been sick.
Dude, that's a great idea. I love that. Yeah, absolutely.
Because then they're two sides of the same coin.
Because then, no, I love that idea, because then it's like throughout the rest of the movie, when he's keeping his cool, right from the start, you have this sense you know something's wrong underneath, as opposed to sort of just coming up a bit randomly later. Yeah, I like that. Because like him keeping his cool is like another really. There's so many great things about the character. That's another good characteristic though, because like even when like that great scene that I'm glad Liam remembered as well, like when Coin interrupts him, like I think it's notable how he just totally keeps his cool. He's not like he doesn't get angry, he doesn't get like doesn't flip his shit. He was just kind of like surprised and then like pissed off that she said the wrong word, which was funny. Then he was like, totally kept it together. Yeah, which is obviously great stuff. So I would have liked like seeing that with your idea, Jaden, like bring it all together. That's all great. I love that idea. In terms of the final scene with him, yeah, I totally agree. It was a really good scene. Some really good lines. He, straight up admits we both know I'm not above killing children, which was, definitely what I need to put on a shirt with my like Snow number one supporter Snow, vote Snow, not above killing children. When he said that, I'm like, oh, gee, I probably shouldn't have been so supportive of him in the last podcasts, But like, it was also like, jokes aside, it was also like another interesting, again, dive into the philosophy of the character where it's like, when he says, I'm not wasteful, I take life for specific reasons, which is true. The whole purpose of the Hunger Games is very specific. It's not meant to be, something he just does to kill kids because he likes killing kids. It's to keep order. It's to keep, the districts in line, all that sort of shit that I'm sure we're going to see built out in the prequel, So yeah, I when he like has to rationalize it like that, and it's just messed up that it makes perfect sense. And then like, because he's saying it all to let Katniss know he didn't kill Prim. And it's like, how can this terrible man? And it's like, damn, dude, but like you're making perfect sense, and I believe you totally. And he's right. It's like that's the thing about Snow is that like he makes perfect sense. You totally believe everything he says, and he's so confident. And it all came to a head there when he had to explain his philosophy at the end, which I liked. Is there anything else in that scene that was noteworthy? I feel like because that wasn't the end of it. I didn't want to like skip over anything in it though.
The fact
I
that
like
they
that. Sorry,
there you go.
No, you go.
There you go.
No.
Okay, you go.
That's right.
The fact that they kept him in like a I don't know, like a nice place was funny. Yeah, just little planetarium. What's it called? I don't know. Garden.
Oh yeah, there's a word for that.
Greenhouse.
Greenhouse.
Yeah, that's good enough. Yeah. You could look at all the flowers and shit. Jaden, now it's your turn.
I was going to say the same thing. I like that they let him keep his dignity. He was still well dressed and still, trimmed and shady. He wasn't disheveled and like, he wasn't Game of Thrones where he's thrown in prison, pissed on, and all that shit.
Yes,
he was.
Yeah.
He was respected in a way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, it's that same wavelength, as Liam.
Is that because I was wondering about that? But is that because like Payla was the one that was like looking after him because she was the one that like gave authority for Katniss to like see him,
Yeah, you got the sense that I presume Coin could override anything. I assume, but yeah, you definitely got the sense that Payla was like looking after all security and was like probably directly responsible for like where he went and how that worked. Yeah. Coin probably would have pissed on him. Basically, is what we're saying. Took it a dump on him.
Definitely.
We're right. Well, let's just keep playing in the end of the movie for a little bit. The whole final action scene, sort of everything when it starts, when you get the look at the crowd of the Capitol for the first time. Because for me, like earlier on in the movie, before this scene, and I'm not 100% sure if it justified it or not, but before the end of the movie, I was kind of disappointed in the lack of like scale we were getting and the lack of understanding and the lack of scenes we were getting focusing on the people of the Capitol and the front lines of the war. Because we're told multiple times, we're not at the front lines. This war's basically happening without us and we're sort of just at the back doing our thing, and that's fine. It's a fine place for the characters to be, but I was sort of a bit disappointed wanting to see more of like, what do the Capitol people think about this? I want to get a sense of the larger conflict. Is there conflict within the Capitol people? And you get that, you get little bits like with Tigress, for example. who was a fairy character. But
Is she Snow's sister? Or am I making that up? Is she the character from the like the trailer for the new film? The
Oh.
Euphoria girl?
No, I feel
Yeah.
like that's like no, I doubt it. I don't think so.
Okay, that's my
Because I think in the prequel she's meant to be like Snow's meant to be like supportive of her. Then, but in this, like she said, she's cast aside. I don't think so. I'll check. I don't know.
I hope we never see her again. So okay, Tigress is human, right? She's like a human who's like done that shit on purpose to make her look like
it's
cosmetic.
just like it's like all that extreme surgery they say these days.
Yeah, okay. God, we're not far off that shit probably. That was whack. Anyway. So I don't know. I would have. There's like one establishing shot in the middle of the movie that I liked, where it's like you see the Capitol burning over the lake and stuff like that. Was cool. But outside of that, I don't know. I would have liked a bit of a larger view. But
Oh shit! It is fucking hell.
whoa. Damn. Okay.
Not a fan.
Well, the name's Tigress, so I can only assume it is
the same
wow.
Tigress.
Yeah.
Well, does that mean Tigress in this movie like 90 years old or some shit?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cosmetics does a lot for you in these days, I guess.
Mm.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. So anyway, that's how I was feeling early in the movie. But then by the time we get to the end and you see the scene with the actual Capitol people and the crowd and the tension begins when Katniss and Liam Hemsworth start, I don't know why I called him that, start going through and the bombs start dropping and all that shit. I just thought this was great. This is the best action that we've gotten in the franchise outside of the games. And it backs up all the themes that we've talked about already of the story. And when the friggin', I love that they use sort of the motif of the, what are they called in the games? Like the gifts, whatever they're called, the donations. They use that motif again to like disguise the bombs and how messed up that is. And you get the little glimpse, of there's the kid who loses her mum, like the little girl, in the crowd. And, the rebel attack, killing all these people, tearing them apart, innocent people. It was all just really strong stuff, I thought. And then, it ending with Katniss being on fire and Prim dying. It was all like, oh, that was perfect. That was like a great little scene that made me feel something,
Like the biggest scene in the film, you just grabbed as little.
Yeah, and I had no idea that, like, as I said, I had forgotten, like, so much about the film. I didn't know about Prim's death. I didn't know about Finnick's death either. Or, Marshala. Yeah, that guy. His character's death either.
Yeah, I forgot about his death as well. I thought he was going to be there to the end.
And I didn't remember, like the mutts and the, running through the kind of underground, and the subway station and that shit. That was good in itself as a little kind of like maze runner, like survival, thing. But yeah, that scene at the end, was pretty great. I didn't like expect it to be. Yeah, I thought she'd literally just walk into the ceremony and then she'd like, be then we'd just go into the ceremony scene or some shit, the execution scene. But yeah, it was good. It was good.
Yeah,
surprising.
Yeah. I agree. I was surprised. I feel like in the last few reviews, I'm not a Prim hater. Just a bit underwhelmed by Prim a little bit in her role in the story. And it's not even like she got a lot more scenes, but I guess maybe it was just how well done it was. I also really liked like the 360 hug scene that they had earlier in the movie, when the camera goes around them like 5 times. Like that was oddly effective.
Petting the dog there,
Yeah, right. That was oddly effective because the score was really good too. So like I don't know, there's like these little things adding up to where I was just surprised how much Prim's death affected me. I was like, damn, that was sad. I was sort of worried I wouldn't care. But I did care a little bit. So yeah, good for them on that. Yeah.
It was kind of a double pet the dog. Because you had Finnick as well.
Yeah, big time.
Who I probably cared more about, because I was like, no way they're gonna kill Finnick here. No way this is a Finnick death scene. I was pretty shocked by that. But it made sense. Like the movie definitely like set it up like 2 times, but it was still that was a pretty impactful death. Yeah.
Do you think Finnick got watered down as a character a little bit though? I felt that way. I feel like it was mostly my enjoyment of him in Catching Fire carrying me through because I still felt his death. But like in these movies, I feel he sort of turned into sort of like
Oh,
generic
right.
friend a little bit.
I guess he became less of a dick. And maybe
Right,
maybe that was
yeah.
just his like games persona, you know?
Yeah, I guess I like that more. Like the scene in Catching Fire when they meet and he's got his shirt off, like
The sugar
that.
cube.
That was great. Like, you know, I kind of wanted more of that energy throughout these two, you know? But yeah, no, like I still, you know, he was a good actor, so I still, you know, was upset. Finnick was cool. But yeah, no, good point about some of these other scenes. How did you feel about the sewer sequence, Jaden? And sort of, I feel like it sort of leans more into horror. I feel like it'd be up your alley.
Yeah, this scene has been greatly embellished in my mind over time, just due to my own thoughts. I remembered it being like way more like just intense, and like not that it's not intense, but I just imagined it to be slicker than what it was. I guess. I think it's still a really cool scene, a really fun scene. And I love the first kind of reveal and the first kills and all that stuff. And the kind of build to it. But what it ends up falling into, I just remember my mind has made it a bit different and a bit better, if I do say so.
Okay.
But no, I think losing Finnick in the book is always a bit harder, because you obviously know him more intimately. And I think you're right about them watering down his character, and he does kind of take a sideline, which feels awkward because they do place the emphasis on him, obviously, with the wedding and the whole like relationship with Annie. So I feel like he could have been a little bit more present to make his death a bit more effective. But yeah, I think it still tugs a few strings in the heart.
Yeah, I pretty much totally agree with that. Yeah, I don't know, the Mutts. Like I liked the fact that they went for a horror vibe. It felt different tonally, and like I liked all the build up to the actual Mutts appearing, and when Jackson turns around and they're there, like that was good. But I don't know, I sort of have the same criticism of them I had with they were Mutts in the first movie too, right? They looked different in this movie, but it was like the same idea.
Mutts stands for mutation, not Mutts as in dogs in the first one. It's
yes,
it's mutations.
Every time they said Mutt, I sort of feel like it was a bit of a slur. Like I kind of feel like it's a naughty word.
Yeah, it's like the Hunger Games, but yeah. They love that word. They love that word.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of have the same criticism of it, where it's like as soon as that stuff started, like it was solid, but I don't know, it's sort of just like a bunch of CG weird things. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, the designs weren't really compelling to me. They kind of looked like fake knockoff xenomorphs or something,
Yeah, I think they were a bit more lizard-like in the books.
Yeah. For some reason, I do recall like the memes described more as lizards or something like that. Not that I don't know if I would have loved that either, to be honest.
Not full on lizards, like anthropomorphic lizards. But yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that. In terms of the film, does have sort of maybe a little bit of an alienism, if you will, an aliensism in the film. Speaking of xenomorphs, actually, is sort of the fact that you do have a bunch of some characters really work, some are kind of just there. Castor is the guy who speaks. He's like generic white dude who has some lines, I think.
He's Pollux's brother, isn't he?
Oh, they're brothers. Is that it?
Oh, yeah, they're definitely brothers. Yeah.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay. I was going to ask if they were like a couple for real because I didn't know. I was confused by that. That whole relationship was like, am I supposed to like understand who these people are to each other?
They say they're brothers, yeah.
Okay, I just missed that. That's fine. Yeah, no, they're fine. Then there's like the other two girls who like sacrificed themselves that I feel like had like 30-second screen time before that. So like
I thought the sacrifice was kind of effective, to be honest. Like it's minimal presence, but like like they're I don't know. I did buy into that one.
Okay. No, that's fair. I feel like, tell me if I'm like making this up, but like the scene where Boggs introduces them to Katniss. Did you get the sense in the scene that like Katniss didn't give a shit? Like Boggs was like,
yeah, because she was still planning to leave with Gale at that point. She didn't care about these people.
Yeah, and then like, oh, okay, right, okay, that's the reason. That makes sense. But then like, doesn't Finnick come in the background and then she gets totally distracted by him?
Yeah.
Honestly, that just played funny to me. Like it played like we're introducing you to these important characters who are going to sacrifice themselves for you. And Katniss couldn't give two fucks, and he's like looking off. And he's like, "Oh, this is my friend Finnick," because I don't think she gave them anything. But yeah, okay, no, that's cool. That's cool. I did like Jan. You liked him more in the last one than I did, but must admit I did like Boggs a lot more in this movie. I don't know. I think he just felt like more like a character this time. He felt like he was filling in an archetype last time, but like this time, actually, like I don't know, he has a role to play in the conflict. I feel like he's actually conflicted with Katniss's need to always like Katniss always needs to get in on the action. Like she's trying to go rogue, she's trying to kill Snow, she's trying to break away, do all this sort of shit. He's strongly needs to protect her. That's his role. He always needs to, and that we see that in the scene where she gets shot. Where he needs to like, he doesn't want her to go over there, and that's why she ends up in the point where the guy's holding the gun to her neck in the first place. So there's already that sort of that tug of war happening. And I don't know, like it's pretty simple, I guess, but I just feel like he actually serves the role this time, and therefore that makes his sacrifice like sort of mean something in the end. Or not a sacrifice, he just fucked up. He stepped on a landmine, but his death, it makes his death sort of feel like it means something. And then by the end, when he actually gives her the security clearance and trusts her, it's like that felt like that was a moment. That was a cool character moment, because it's like I don't know if he would have done that otherwise. He actually has to sort of like go and trust her in that moment and realize he's not going to be able to protect her. So yeah, I don't know. I thought all that is why I liked Boggs more this time, even though, and Mahershala Ali's great.
Yeah, he steps on a landmine, and then the group doesn't learn their lesson, and they step on another, another trapdoor thing.
To be fair, that was like a lot of pods within like one area, like.
Yeah, but they show on the map they have like, 3 in like one area or whatever, like a lot on like one spot. But
I think Boggs always liked Katniss though. And he's always shown to be like morally conscious, like, as she is, and he's always shown to be like a bit more aware than the rest of 13.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think it's a sudden realization that he can trust Katniss. I think there's always been a respect there, and like he actually enjoys being there and like actively supporting her rather than just as a token. Like he does believe in her.
Right. Okay. Okay.
It's cool that you also see like the group, they start to believe more in what Boggs wants than what Snow wants, because they follow Katniss because that's, like Boggs believed in Katniss, so they're like, we'll like go along with this.
Yes, exactly. That's one thing I was sort of initially confused about when like Natalie Dormer and all the rest, like Sticker and Jackson, they all decide to go with Katniss. There's a little bit of argument, but they decide to go with Katniss, and I was kind of like, why are they backing her up in this moment? But then does become clear that they all sort of, it became clear to me anyway, that they all sort of just like her more than I originally thought and trust in her, because before I was kind of like, why are you supporting this mission right now? When they know they're going rogue, at least they admit that later, Anyway, Natalie Dormer didn't really win me over in this movie. I'm not going to lie. I feel like she was meant to sort of come around. She kept doing it. She was still like doing that annoying director shit, I don't know what her character's name is. I just keep calling her that. Like she's still in the Capitol going like,
Tighter.
Zoom in on to go, tighter. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it was.
Well, at the start, like, she was like just a propaganda filmmaker still.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't know. She didn't win me over. I was kind of still annoyed with her, to be honest. Do we want to deep dive on man number 3 or?
I don't know. Have we properly talked about penis though?
No, we definitely haven't talked about penis yet. I actually really liked Peter in the movie. There's some good acting between him, Josh Hutcherson. Hutchinson? Don't know.
Hutchinson. I don't know.
I don't want to watch that. Hutcherson. Say it really quick and I hope no one notices. Yeah, I actually quite liked it. At the start, when he like, rages, it's like, she's a mutt.
She's a mutt.
She's a... Thank you. That was okay, that's actually funny, but is like, damn dude, that was actually pretty scary. It was actually a pretty scary performance. I thought it was quite strong. And then later on as well, when, they sort of do another version of it, but it's quieter, with Katniss, and he says, he says, I would have saved myself a lot of suffering if I had just given the bread to the pig. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm like stumbling over this shit. But like that was a really strong scene, I think, acted between the two of them, and like the way it, like Jennifer Lawrence's facial acting at the end of it, and she just like it hangs on her for a second and then she walks out. Like I think that was really strong, and it leaves them in obviously a challenging place.
I think all the real and not real stuff is really strong character building, and I think it really does a lot to win over the entire relationship. And I think I think it's super effective in just building Peter back to what he was, but also just I think it does like way more than any other character building across the previous 3 films of him. The real or not real is quite like a strong emotional kind of method, I guess, of just communicating like the character.
Yeah. This is somehow the first film where I feel like the love between the two is actually like tangible.
Yeah.
Like in the last one, it was kind of like she's worried about her friend type of thing, and then the first two you could say it's just for the games, but in this one it's like yeah, it's real now.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. That was all really well done. Even when like he did straight up try to like kill her again when like the BT tar came in, right? In that whole scene.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like on paper I should be like more annoyed at him.
Yeah. Like, well, he kills a guy. Did he?
Yeah.
He he knew, right, that like there was like more mines or whatever when he was like agitated. Is that what that was? When he was like banging like his head against the gun or whatever. He was like.
I think he was just having a bit of a mental break.
But like I felt like it at that moment. It like signified that, I guess, because he doesn't do that at any other point.
I think it was the trauma of the games though, just like coming back up because like of the trap that had already been activated.
Right.
But Jane, this is your favorite topic. You already know what I'm going to do. One of my favorite scenes in the movie was actually listening to Peter and Gail chat to each other. Have a little road chat, and I thought that was a really good scene. Obviously confirms the love triangle is real, Jaden. No matter what you think. Was Peter the right choice in the end?
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. Like, I don't know how you can watch this movie and think that Gale was ever right. It's like from the start, not from the start. I think this is Catching Fire where they start sowing the seeds of like just this like completely different and like militant way of thinking in Gale. And like I stand by the fact that like Katniss never wanted the revolution. She never wanted to be the leader. She never wanted to be engaged with it. She just, like, despite all the killing we see, she is a very peaceful person. She tries to do as little of it as possible. Like, they are just two very different people. And I think, like, the rift that they build is very solid. And I think by this point, like, of the movies, like, you can't support, Gale and Katniss.
That's a very good argument. I don't know. As we established earlier, I've got a bit more sympathy for Gale, I feel like, than most. But I understand. Yeah. That's fair enough. I like the line where he said, she'll pick who she can't survive without. So, yeah, I guess she did do that, That's fair. I see that. And like obviously, like the way it's like plain as day, even just in the movie, when Katniss like kisses Peter like way more enthusiastically than Gale, It was almost like Jennifer Lawrence didn't eat tuna for Peter. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was like it really read like that. So yes, I liked that as well. I guess we can get to the actual, just like the ending, I suppose. Did you guys watch this movie with subtitles?
No.
Don't think so.
The subtitles on Stan, when Buttercup came back and delivered, by the way, Buttercup delivered a great supporting performance. Should have got nominated.
How did she not move when Katniss was throwing all that shit at her? I mean, like, that's pretty impressive. Like, every other cat would be, like, skittish as. Like, unless they shot tooth things and, like, overlaid it and, like, like... Because, like, I don't understand, like,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with that. I genuinely think the scene with Katniss and Buttercup's, like, really good.
Yeah.
And, like, Jennifer's really great. And, like, they got a good cat, obviously. I thought it was a really strong scene. But anyway, on the Stan subtitles, when Buttercup meowed,
Oh yes, no. I saw MIAOWS. MIAWOWS. That is crazy. Like that is such a stupid choice, man.
Dude,
Oh
some
my
whack
god.
ass person
I
wrote
did watch
those, man.
subtitles. Yeah.
I watched it on Netflix anyway. I wonder if it would have been the same.
That was confounding to me. I was like, oh my god. This guy's never heard meow spelled out loud. Like
that's a furry as way of writing it though, like proper like enunciate it, like meow, like that's
Oh no, yeah, no, that was terrible. Thank you, Liam. I'm so happy about this because I was half convinced that either of you guys were going to be like, oh, I didn't see it. I don't know. You know what I mean? I was like, oh shit, it was so upsetting to me as well. Okay, anyway, so Peter and Katniss have a nice life in the Victor's village, and that's all good. But like, you still feel like the trauma they've been through, and that's good stuff. I don't know if this is controversial though. I'm not a big fan of the epilogue, like the actual.
Yeah, I think we could do without it.
Yeah, I totally agree.
It's a book ending, not a film ending.
Yes, yeah, and I feel like like the score was nice. The score was good in the whole movie, but it felt kind of pointless and cliche, the whole scene. Like it's too close to Harry Potter. But the thing that makes it work in Harry Potter is that, like, in my opinion, is that Harry Potter, like, it gives you sort of, the nice ending that you want, but like it gives you new shit too. Like it gives you, okay, they had these kids, and it sort of sets up like, oh, you understand, like there's the new kid Albus, and then it sets up sort of new conflicts that are interesting, in the little scene, you get where it's like, oh, he doesn't know what house he wants to go into. Like there's new little narrative things that they throw in that are like kind of cool to see. In this scene, you get nothing. Like all you get is that you learn that they had kids. That's literally it, and it's like, okay, like I could have guessed that. You know what I mean? It was cliche without adding anything, is kind of what I would say. And it would have I think the whole thing would have just worked better for me if they had, that like when they're lying in bed together before they flash forward, and it's like, oh, do you love me, real or not real? And they go back to that, and just end it there. I would have been happy with that. But it's probably a bit of a nitpick because I can just pretend it doesn't exist. It's fine, but like, I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan of it as an ending.
You see, that's when you combine the two movies. That's where you can remove a little bit of fat from this one,
Yes, absolutely, and get rid of tigers as well.
Like the music was really awesome in that last scene. That was really like
it was.
So I guess I enjoyed I don't know. I like that last scene, but you're probably right. I just like how everything's green now and it's nice and happy.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. That is totally the point of it. I understand.
Do you think they're still living in the Victor's village at that point, or do you reckon they've moved like just away from like the districts in total?
Does the book have any insight on that?
Can't remember.
Yeah, they go
because at the start they talk about at the start of the first movie they talk about running away. Like, is this her finally running away from everything?
Yeah,
but I don't really imagine her leaving Hamish behind at this point either, to be honest.
No, I mean, I don't know, but like that's like honestly, it's another sort of small criticism of the scene. I would have liked a bit more understanding of exactly where they were at. I just got the impression that they just sort of walked to a hill that was like a kilometre away from the Victor's village, to be honest. Where the capital... I'll ask that in a second, but I will just quick trivia. Many of the capital scenes were shot in Paris and Berlin. So that's the aesthetic they were going for, which I liked. But, Jen, I couldn't remember. Where is the capital meant to be again? We've talked about this.
Let me find the official one.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so it's... What's that? Utah. It's about where Wyoming is in Yankee land.
It's so weird. Okay.
So like lots of mountains then, isn't it? Oh, hold on. This one places it a bit lower. It's about Wyoming, Colorado-ish. Right. Oh, this one puts it quite. It's mountainous wherever it is on all these fan maps and all these like official ones.
I mean,
yes.
Can I just say that those make no sense? And leave it at that. They're just too big.
Please.
Like
the districts are too big.
If I were to make a map like that, I would make it like the 13 like original, US colonies or something. I'd make it way smaller. The capital is like just a city. Like compared to the size of, compared to the populations of the other districts would have, it wouldn't have a chance really. You know.
Yes, that's a good point. Yeah,
But I digress.
I agree with that. We've been talking about this map for like 5 episodes now, so I'm glad you finally revealed your issue with it.
You see, this map actually goes up into Canada as well. This one's interesting. So,
I assume Canada's fucked too, because no one wants to escape to there or anything. That's never mentioned.
well, this one, yeah, like the rising sea levels has taken over a shit ton of Canada. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. I wonder how obvious this was to you guys, but it's also a good point to bring up, Philip Seymour Hoffman. The scene where Haymitch reads Plutarch's letter to Katniss was originally scripted to be Plutarch talking to Katniss in person. Unfortunately, Hoffman died before the scene was filmed. I remember reading the trivia last time about how like characters took over his lines, and like when Haymitch started reading the letter, it was like, oh yeah, plain as day to me. But did that stand out to you guys? And yeah, did you feel like Plutarch with Philip's unfortunate passing? Like, do you feel like he's like it all ended up working in the end? Because I think it did. I think there was no weird CG shit they had to do or anything. But the letter was
back in
kind of
2015,
awkward.
that would have been fucking terrible.
Terrible. Definitely. The letter scene was kind of awkward, like understanding that, but I don't know. You can't really ask for them to do much else, I guess. Yeah.
Did he die naturally, by the way? I can't even remember. He did, right? Liam?
No, I can't remember.
You like the authority?
But that's
It was drugs.
Damn.
Oh, was it? Oh, that's...
Yeah, apparently he relapsed in like 2012 and yeah.
Oh. That's a bummer. Anyway, let's get to our final verdicts. Mockingjay Part 2, Liam.
I'll slap an 8 on it. I think I was very pleasantly surprised and very just engaged. So yeah, I'll give it an 8.
Yes, I will. I feel like I'm all messed up because I feel like I kind of should have given the first one an 8.
Did you not?
No, I gave it a 7.
Oh,
So
shit.
I do like the first one more than this, and I don't know, I've got little issues with this one, but yeah, I'll give it a strong 7. I'll give it. I pretty much entirely agree with you though, Fitzy. Jaden.
I think this experience, this watch was a bit less so than my previous, but like I was saying, I think my mind has embellished a lot of scenes. So I think I need to keep with the 8. Although I think realistically, it's probably a bit less.
Okay, understood. Keeping it on the 8 out of stubbornness, perhaps. Yes. Jaden was nodding, but he was having a sip of something. Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? Let me tell you, if we can do it, anyone can. And that's thanks to Zencaster. Like a lot of other podcasts out there, our show is recorded over the web every week. But trying to record a podcast with platforms like Zoom and Discord can be an audio quality disaster. I'm sure you've heard some of the podcasts I'm talking about with long delays, sound cutting in and out. It is not pleasant. Zencaster captures studio quality sound for all of your guests right from your web browser. Zencaster's multi-layered backups ensure you always have your recordings in the highest quality, even if the connection is unstable. And with Zencaster's all-in-one platform, you can create and distribute your podcast to Spotify, Apple, and other major destinations all in one place. Go to Zencaster.com/pricing and use our code CinemaEffect to get 30% off your first month of any paid plan. That's Zencaster.com/pricing with promo code CinemaEffect with an E for 30% off today. Feel a sense of Zen with Zencaster. Liam, what have you been watching? Were you able to watch much?
No, I don't think I have anything this week.
That's fine. You're exploring Perth, having a great time. It's fine.
Yeah.
I was Rottnest Island, actually. Was that a highlight of the week?
Yeah, that was my highlight. The quokkas are the highlight. When they zoomed into frame,
Okay.
and they had that look in their face. That was emotional.
Did you see peacocks while you were there?
Peacocks? No. I saw
peacocks anyway.
We saw like lizards and shit, like eagle and reptiles, but
okay,
no peacocks. No,
they're scary. I'm not a fan. Anyway, Jaden, what have you been watching?
I watched this new horror film called Totally Killer, horror comedy. on Amazon. And I was really keen for this. I've loved products like this in the past. Shit like Freaky, Babysitter Killer Queen. You know, this kind of new era. You know, just kind of fun horror slashes type things with this kind of like teen cast. They've traditionally been really fun, and like really cool. Like the Babysitter Killer Queen is one of my favorite horror movies of all time because it is just so fucking funny, in my opinion. And I was kind of expecting something similar coming out of Totally Killer. The trailer looks like has similar vibes, and watching the movie, it is a similar vibe in terms of everything I've said. Teen cast, slasher, horror, funny, but it just it never fully worked for me because I had this time travel kind of aspect to it, which given the silliness of the film, like it's fine, but also like, and it's a bit much that I didn't really need. But then like the central like mystery of the slasher isn't as interesting as the other ones. I think the cast is a bit more awkward. It is long, unnecessarily long. I think it's like just over 2 hours, and for a horror comedy, like for either of those films, like pushing 2 hours is difficult. So then when you mix them together, going 2 hours is definitely wrong, I think. It still ended up being fine, but yeah, definitely like of other things that have been recently put out, even like Happy Death Day and all that shit, like something I haven't seen. They seem to be better reviewed. Totally Killer's fun, I guess, but like if you like the stuff, there are better examples of it.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, why is this? Why have I seen this? Why is this so popular at the moment? Like, why was it a big talked about thing?
Is it?
Well, I think it was like high on the letterbox popular, wasn't it?
No, just because it's Halloween, I guess. New horror movie.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fair enough. Okay. Would I like it, Jaden? Jaden, would I like it?
Oh, sorry. I heard you say my name, but I thought you were just saying. Like, I thought I didn't really. No,
I think I probably did say it.
I think like you'd have enjoyment out of it, but like it's nothing like that you need to see, need to watch.
Got it. Okay, all right. No,
I think the kill is very boring, to be honest. Probably like the worst part of it is that it's not strong.
Okay. I'll chat about Knock at the Cabin. Is there a reason you haven't watched this yet, Fitzy? I feel like this is going to be high on your list, right?
You mean Jane?
No, you.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Oh, you've seen Knock at the Cabin?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm tripping. Anyway, I thought you hadn't. Yeah. Oh, I liked it. It was interesting. Dave Bautista was phenomenal in it. Like he was definitely the standout. The story was very M. Night. I don't know. Like I don't really walk away from these modern M. Night movies. Like I keep in my head directly comparing it to Old, which I know Fitzy loves.
Oh,
and I'm just like, they're very interesting. I don't know. Like I feel like there are similarities between them in the sense that like it's sort of this crazy, wacky concept based on a book, but it feels very original because it is, it's not a franchise or whatever. Interesting sort of sci-fi / fantasy concepts where you don't really know what you're going to get into until you see the whole thing. They never blow me away. They're not like must-see movies for me, but like I don't know. Like I always know what I'm going to get out of them, and I still enjoy them. There's always like really strong little scenes and things. And then outside of that, it's sort of just being along for the ride is what I like about them. I guess it's sort of like I've got no idea what the fuck's going on, and I'm kind of into that. That's sort of what I get out of them. But I didn't even know you'd seen it. So how do you feel about it, Fitzy, compared to Old and things like that?
Yeah, I remember liking it. It was a little like less twisty than I expected, to be honest. But the twist the twist was that there was no twist, But
yes, exactly. Yes.
No, it was good. Yeah, the performances were good and stuff. Old mate, what's the guy's name? Jeff? No, not Jeff. Dude from Matrix Resurrection.
Yeah, Jonathan Groff.
Yeah, Groff. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's good.
Now comes the segment where we hand the show over to you with our question of the show. Last week we asked you, what is your favourite final movie in a franchise? And Luke comes in with an answer we might have to ban immediately. Avengers Endgame. Even if it's not the end of Marvel, it's definitely the end of an era for Marvel movies. It's right there. There you go. It was a brilliant end to a series of films. It was satisfying and synthesized all which came before. It also stands along as a great film. Yes, I mean, I love Avengers Endgame for sure, but the end of a franchise. Do you guys take issue with this?
A little bit, but I expected that answer, to be honest.
I don't know. I guess you could make the argument they do sort of package I think they packaged like the Infinity Saga Blu-rays
Yeah,
in a
and
way
that's
where
why I
it's
was
like,
like,
oh,
okay
this is
with
the
it.
ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can make an
How
argument.
many weeks has it been? When you like, that at some workplaces they have those counters where they have like a week since accident.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You have week since Luke has given Endgame as an answer to the question.
There's an answer. Oh, that's great. That's great.
Can I control F the Discord?
Back to
Can I like
zero.
search the question like?
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, you can. Control
Okay.
F. Yeah. Avengers Endgame. Let's have a look at that. How close are we, Jen? Should I go to the next question yet?
He mentioned it in August,
Oh, shit. That's not long.
twice. He mentioned it in May. All right, so prior to May this year, it was 10. It was then July last year. So there was a 10-month gap in it, but
Right. But he's hit it out of the park this year.
oh yeah, there's a shit ton of mentions between, but yeah, like yeah.
Gotcha. No, that's fair enough. Okay. Don't worry, Luke. I love it too, so that's fine. Andy said, my favourite final movie in a series is easily John Wick Chapter 4. If you can end a banging series with Donnie Yen in one of the top billed cast, you're gonna get remembered on a positive note. If you want to hear Andy's very obscure pick, it's got to be Love on the Run. It also started with The 400 Blows, which is such a French new wave masterpiece by itself, and then it somehow expanded into a series about the lead character in a span of 20 years. Oh, interesting. The series is called The Adventures of Antoine Doinel? Oh, God. With 4 features and 1 short film in total. And I have the DVD set of those films if any of you hosts are interested in checking it out. Interesting. Okay. I haven't heard of that. But I don't know. Probably not Andy, to be honest. You know what I mean? No, I'm just joking. I'm sure it's all right. As long as it's not black and white.
It is.
Yeah, okay then. That's fine. Then Luke actually made the point about, which I agree with, John Wick Chapter 4 being the end or not. Is that an acceptable answer in your guys' opinion? Does it have to be clearly over? You know what I mean? We know it's
Yeah,
over.
I don't know. But actually, in mentioning that, have either of you guys been watching The Continental?
No, it's on my
Okay,
list, but
yeah,
no, I haven't checked it out yet.
because seeing that sparked it in my mind, and I've been meaning to ask about it. Yeah.
Oh, have you seen it?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Yeah. I feel like they've been pretty open about doing another John Wick, so I don't know if it counts. But it does feel like an ending, though, at this point. So, man, I don't know. It's in this little, middle spot right now where it might count for a second. All right. Fitzy, what is your favourite final film in a franchise, as I have to go and let my dog in because she's very annoying?
Jane will like this, given his recent rewatches. Final Destination 5 is a great film. I love all the Final Destinations except the one we don't talk about. Number 4, which is Abominable. They're just great. Set piece movies. They're just like they're premise set piece movies, and they deliver. They're really great. Like, you can definitely get tired of the same thing over and over again, but I think like there's enough like innovation in each movie, and each movie has its kind of like cool aesthetic or whatever. Five's aesthetic is more just like it's pretty plain, but the sequences just like speak for themselves. They just really do. And the cast is great, and the ending is awesome, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I was going to ask, the story actually ends in a cool place.
Yeah. You should watch them all, but yeah.
Interesting.
The stories aren't anything like unique or anything, but
I think they are important though, because I think the reason that number 4 is so poor is because the story in it is shithouse. Because when you look at it, a lot of the setup is the same, and some of the death scenes are still cool, but it is just that the opening scene and like the kind of story that follows.
The death scenes
is
are arse though. Like the CG, the
True.
CG is so awkward in 4. It's just terrible.
true.
But yeah, I do agree. Like the stories are also like better in other films, and the other films like integrate the cast better. They
Yeah.
they actually speak to each other and more, and they mean more to each other, I guess. But yeah, I recommend the Final Destination franchise to horror, non-horror fans, even. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Mm.
I just wanted to ask about the story because I wasn't expecting that as an answer. Because, like, I don't know.
Right, because
my mind goes to like epic conclusions of stories. You know what I mean?
yeah, because like, well, the whole premise is that the whole premise of a Final Destination movie is that everyone fucking dies. So it's hard to like have continuing characters and shit.
Right.
But just watch a franchise. Just watch it and you'll see.
Okay. All right. I know nothing about it, so that's interesting. So wait, so there is continuity between them though?
Like a little bit. Like
Between 1 and 2 is the strongest continuity.
yeah.
But then in 3 and 4, you do get references to previous incidents.
Right. So is 5 okay? But is 5 like the ending? Like, is it clear it's the ending? Or is
Well,
this
you see,
the last one out?
I don't want to say anything, but this is where I kind of take issue with a little bit of what Liam's saying.
Bit of spoilers. Okay, but answer this though: is it like is there an element to it that would suggest?
They are making a 6th one. Let me just say that.
Yeah,
okay. But is there an element to it that made you want to use as an answer, Fitzy, as opposed to like?
Yes, it's a very like unique conclusion to the series.
Okay, gotcha.
That's why.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Understood. For me, it's The Dark Knight Rises, which is probably not surprising. But the thing I was surprised about in finding this answer was like how it's not even close. Like I was kind of thought, I'll probably come up with some fairly generic answer for Zach. But then like, I don't know, I was like looking around and I realized there's not even any competition, to be honest, for me. It's like, I don't know, what other people like? Freaking Return of the King or some shit? You know what I mean? Said it like it's dog shit.
You're not gonna Rise of Skywalker. You're not gonna try and convince us about that.
No, I'm definitely not. Not over The Dark Knight Rises. Maybe over Return of the King, but
Wow. That's nuts to say. Holy shit.
Yeah, no, probably not. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was more so like the lack of. I was surprised in the lack of other suitable options. I don't know what it was, but just looking, I was like, oh, it's The Dark Knight Rises, and it's not even close. Like, the movie's amazing. I freaking love The Dark Knight Rises, as you guys know. It's one of my favorite movies, but yeah, there's just like no other conclusions that really rival it. Oh, okay, I guess other big franchise ones. I don't want to tread on any potential answers for Jaden, but like, I don't know. It's hard to.
You won't tread on my answers. Just mention.
I don't know, like Harry Potter. I think it's got a great ending, but I don't think it's like the strongest in the series.
Yeah.
I don't think. Oh, there were other shit. Like, I don't know. Like, it's also just hard because like some other things haven't clearly ended. Like the Last Hobbit's my least favorite.
How can we tread on Jaden's answer more? The last Transformers movie is great.
Well, Transformers hasn't ended. But
oh really?
Yeah, exactly.
Damn.
Yeah.
I
loved when Anthony Hopkins was in it. I haven't seen that, but anyway, I don't know. The Dark Knight Rises is freaking phenomenal, and dude, what an awesome as an ending. I mean, you know what I mean? What a great ending! I freaking dude that the final montage of that movie is like top tier in my opinion. It's like one of my favorite like sequences ever. You know what I mean? And like the hard cut. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. So yes, that's my answer. Jaden,
do you understand people's criticism of the movie though? Like when you see everyone's criticisms, do you understand them? Because I really love the movie too, but like when I see people like take issue with it, and like I see them write it down, and I see them write it down coherently, I understand most of that.
I don't really know what people's criticisms of the movie are. What are they?
No.
To be honest, like, I have heard criticism. I've heard shit like, how does Batman get back into Gotham? And I think that's just dumb as dog shit. But
Well, yeah, that's dumb because it's perfectly like there's a massive time jump to explain him getting back.
He's fucking Batman.
Yeah. I don't know, but there's quite a lot of things that people just like. It's kind of Nolanisms that people take issue with, and like I understand, but yeah.
Like what?
Huh? Oh, a lot of the character writing outside of Batman, people take issue with. I think.
Oh really?
Especially the female characters, obviously. I don't know. There's just some other shit. Like when people like write it down and you point out like some of the stupidity in the plot and like the conveniences. Like obviously like the Batman coming back to Gotham, that's a time jump. That's fine. But there's some other stuff. But yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I don't understand them, but I also don't really know them. So
yeah, fair
I don't know. Maybe I'll have to read into it more.
Yeah.
Talia al Ghul isn't my favorite. I mean, that's fair, I guess.
I
like Anne
spoilers.
Oh, her death scene's fucking terrible. It's literally like, it doesn't bother me at all because it's like a 2-second shot in the movie. It's like, I'm not going to.
Did you guys ever see the college humor sketch of Batman getting stabbed by Talia? No,
I think so.
It's just such a vivid memory. Like, do you remember college humor in general, Zach? I don't know, Liam.
I know the name, but
yeah,
no, not really.
They made a skit of like Talia stabbing Batman, and like it's just him like, and then like it's just like 3 minutes of him then like riddling off like sex jokes about like getting stabbed and like getting penetrated and stuff like that. And it just lives in my mind. Just I don't know, always. It's not particularly good, but I don't know. It's just fucking burnt in there.
Are you talking about he or something else?
Sorry.
Are you talking about he or something else?
What's he?
How it should have ended.
I don't think so.
It's not animated. Okay.
No. It's acted.
I know exactly what you meant, Vinci, because I've seen it written that way. But does anyone say that? I mean, I don't like their video, so I don't know. But like,
yeah, people say that. People say that.
Oh, people call it hissy?
Yeah, that's what the channel was like. Yeah, people say that.
I think I've only ever watched like one how it should have ended fucking thing.
I feel like that'd be right up your alley. It's an insulting, but anyway. Sorry, Jane. What is your answer?
My answer is I'm going to throw it back 170 odd episodes ago, and say The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which is the conclusion of the Dollars trilogy. And while I do prefer For a Few Dollars More, which is the second one, I think it's undeniably Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is one of the greatest films of all time. And it is echoed as such by us in episode 9 of the show, I think.
Something like that. Episode 7 or 8 or something. Yeah, 9. Yeah. Just
fantastic. Just score, acting, character. It is just a great epic, and it's an epic that feels like an epic but doesn't feel tiring ever to me. I've seen that film quite a few times, just even on TV, just when it plays. I'll never get bored of watching it, and I'll always love it. I think it's a great conclusion to the trilogy. That, many people argue gets stronger with each film, but yeah, I'm still hung up on number 2.
But is it a franchise?
Well, it's a trilogy.
But is it?
Yeah.
Isn't that like saying like The World's End?
Is Batman a franchise? Is the Dark Knight specifically a franchise?
Yeah.
How?
Because it's a story told over 3 movies.
Yeah, and the Dollars trilogy is 3 spiritual stories.
Spiritually,
linked by the man with no name.
But is it the same character?
It's not the same character.
It's not.
But it's the man with no name.
But he has a name in each film. But
no, it doesn't.
Yeah, he does.
No, he's the man with no name.
He's Blondie in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
That's just a
Jaden, he has a name in each film.
Nah. Still, it's a franchise.
Okay.
Yes, I agree. It's a franchise.
Okay, that's fair. Good answer though, for sure. Wait, was when we reviewed it, was that the first time you'd seen it, and you watched it since? Yeah.
I haven't watched it since, no, but I'd seen it a few times before.
Oh, you'd seen it before. Okay,
yeah.
Okay. God, that was so long ago. Holy shit. We've been doing this show so long where I look back and I want to rewatch movies we reviewed because it's been that long now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I used to think that your 3-year time cap on rewatching a movie was crazy, but then I'm looking back, I'm like, oh shit, it's already been 3 years.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and I realise I forget so much. But yes, as always, we'd love you to submit your questions, thoughts, and or reviews for next week's film in the YouTube or Instagram comments section, or join the Discord server this week. The specific question we'll be asking you is, what is your favourite movie about social injustice? I want you all to give your answers. And I also want you to guess what we're going to answer and what each other are going to answer. You know what I mean? I feel like we're going to learn something about each other in what we're going to think is the best movie about social injustice. Basically, anything for me that's like a courtroom drama about justice.
Trial of the Chicago 7.
I can't stand any of that shit. I can't stand that shit.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah. So that's that's probably off the table for me. Just a bit of a clue. But yeah, anyway, let us know. Don't know if it's a good question or not. Fitzy, why are we doing that question? What are we doing next week?
We're doing a new movie, Killers of the Flower Moon, on Scorsese, the man, the myth, the legend, has made another film. He's still alive. It's crazy. It's gonna be a big one. But yeah, it's about this. I mean, it's about the the oil people taking over this the Osage Nation or whatever. DiCaprio, De Niro. Isn't it like the first movie together since like This Boy's Life or whatever?
Is it? No. Surely not.
I feel like it is.
That's crazy.
But yeah, get down. Yeah, get down for that.
Was De Niro in Gangs of New York? No.
Nah.
Okay.
They haven't. There's no Scorsese movie yet that they've both been in. This is their first Scorsese co-production. So I think it's the first since This Boy's Life. But yeah, big one.
Big one. 3 hours and 26 minutes. Big one.
Oh yeah. I mean,
hopefully it's like an hour and 26 minutes of credits.
That would be ideal. Yeah. That's oh my god, that's so weird though. I guess Scorsese does usually choose one of them. Not all the time, but he often either does De Niro or DiCaprio, but he's never done them both. But we've also got a poll this week.
Oh, right.
Do you have yours?
No, yeah, I do.
Okay, good. Okay. Fitzy and I are going head to head in a poll. This is very exciting. We're both going to nominate a movie. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
All right, you got a grin on your face. I'm scared. But I'll be nominating. I should know better. I should have learned by now what's going to win, but I don't know. It felt right. It felt consistent. And I'm proposing. I feel like I've got to pitch it. I'm proposing another director duology like we did with Damien Chazelle. I'm proposing another Scorsese picture, and it's Mean Streets. I want to do Mean Streets. I want to go back. I want to go recent, the most recent film, and go back to the beginning for Marty. That's what I want to do. So I'm nominating Mean Streets.
Wow, is that on anything? I swear that's not on anything.
Yeah, I was surprised.
I think it's on Paramount.
Paramount?
Who has access to Paramount?
Jane, you've told me so many times that you'll just stream it, so I don't want to hear nothing from you.
I can't because my website's gone.
Oh, yeah, you did say that.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot about that.
Which means my website's gone.
I'm not paying an extra fucking $10 for Paramount.
Do this free trial thing.
Huh? My sister fucking wasted it already.
No, the email address.
Oh, yeah.
I shouldn't say this on the air.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's illegal or... No, it's not. It's just a loophole. Fitzy, what are you nominating?
I'm nominating a more recent film than that somehow. Total Recall, 1990, not the Colin Farrell, remake. The Arnold film.
Okay, so check our Instagram page. 24 hours or so after this episode goes live, and cast your vote for which film we'll be doing in a fortnight's time. Okay. But yeah, that's really it. I appreciate everyone tuning in. Appreciate Liam and Jaden for joining me as always. I think that's it. Have a great rest of your week and goodbye.